What about sorting through that data like we talked about and finding the exact piece of evidence which you were looking for, even if you didn't know exactly when it occurred on your site? Well, in order to talk about that, I'd like to first provide you all with a rudimentary example of what metadata is and how it really works, at least concerning video surveillance and security applications. Now, this is an oversimplification, but you can think of metadata as small tags of data that are being written or getting tagged onto images that the camera is recording as it's recognizing objects. So, for instance, in one frame, the camera could recognize that it sees a person, that person is wearing a blue top, that person is wearing black pants, and it tags the frame with all of those small tags and notes it into a database. And this goes on, as in another subsect, it might hear a sound that it recognizes as a glass break, and it tags that section. But again, what's really powerful about metadata or these tags is that it turns this information related to video into something that is exceedingly easy for a user to search through or even a program to sort through and get to the recording or that evidence that they're looking for, all by searching these tags and not sorting through the video or watching all of the video to finally find that needle in the haystack. And in iPro's case, the application of choice that can sort through all of these tags and spool through all of this metadata is the application known as ActiveGuard, which is a plugin that works with Video Insight, Genetec, Milestone, LuxRiot, and other VMSs on the market. It's a free plugin for anyone that's utilizing iPro's AI-enabled hardware and cameras. So taking a quick look over ActiveGuard, which is once again a free installable plugin that just mounts directly to Video Insight's main PC-based client in this case for viewing and management, known as VM Monitor Plus. When the plugin gets installed, you'll see two new tiles in your workspace. One is reserved for live monitoring, while the other is reserved for that forensic searching we were talking about, which just happens to be the section we're interested in. When you click on this tab, a new section opens up, providing us with multiple options to search through the evidence we already collected. These options provide us with a time frame in which we'd like to search through, along with additional parameters to narrow down the results that we get from our search. In this case, we're going to focus on people and vehicle appearance. Clicking on people, we're instantly provided with a menu to further filter the appearance of the targets we're interested in finding. The first of these options allow us to upload an image file of the individual outright. So if we have an image, it can try to narrow down the search to the appearance of the image. However, since we don't have one, we will narrow it down ourselves by selecting individual appearance parameters such as the target's gender, age, hairstyle, color of the hair, color of the clothing, along with whether the target has a beard or no beard, down to even the shoe color of the individual. We can even select which direction that individual may be moving from the camera's perspective. So if he's moving left to right, right to left, going away from the camera, coming towards the camera, these are all search parameters we can choose from. Once we click search, the system will narrow down and then provide us with thumbnails of individuals which might fit the profile that we selected, as you can see here. And in this case, I was looking for this bearded individual wearing a dark sleeve shirt and gray pants. Once we found the target we're looking for, we can click the thumbnail image to play back the corresponding clip they were in. From here, we can bookmark or export the event, and we can even add the individual to a watch list in the event that the individual is still on our site and we want to be notified the next time he passes by one of our cameras. During this registration, we can also set a validation period for the individual. We might set a validation period just to keep our watch list clean and not clogged up with random individuals that might not be at our site for a long time. Moving on, the same concepts we just reviewed for people hold true for vehicles. We can choose the vehicle style we're interested in, such as sedan or SUV in this case, the color of the vehicle, which we've chosen white, and the direction of the path that the vehicle is taking, again from the camera's perspective, which in this case we've chosen the vehicle moving from left to right. When we click search, we are presented with a lot of results, though let's say we're interested in this SUV. Clicking on the image will once again play back the event. From here, again, we can bookmark or export the event, or set the vehicle to a watch list, just as we did the person, and even see which camera picked up the vehicle on our facility map. And in this case, we will add a bookmark for another user to review at a later time, which will mark itself on the timeline along with the note that we'll insert for the bookmark. We'll come back to bookmarks a little later, but for right now, let's move on. For ActiveGuard, also works with third-party analytics, which directly install and run off the compute horsepower found on these AI-enabled cameras. In this case, we have a license plate recognition application from Baxter with make, model, and color capabilities. Essentially, Baxter LPR platform gives us a lot more options when searching for vehicles. For it allows us to either search by a full or partial license plate associated with the vehicle, the country and the state of the plate it's associated with, and even by the vehicle's manufacturer and model. In this event, I don't have a plate number or even a partial plate number, but I know it's a Texas plate, and the car that I want to find was a Ford F-150. So I set my search parameters and hit search, and impressively, as you can see, I'm presented with nearly all F-150s that the camera was able to catalog, along with their license plate data, which I can confirm right through the application. Now, again, before jumping ahead, it's important to note that Baxter is just an example of a third-party analytic, and since these cameras are becoming so capable, so powerful in their processing, there are literally thousands of developers in the security space creating new and useful analytics constantly, which means, unlike past camera technologies, AI cameras actually have the potential to continually add new and more useful functionality as time goes on. With that, we've covered a general overview of what ActiveGuard offers from a forensic search standpoint. Granted, there are more parameters to search, such as the sound profiles we talked about, and even access control events, though the process is very similar to what we just covered. But what about live events? What can ActiveGuard do, if anything? Well, no worries, because it does have you covered there as well, especially if you have people monitoring your site. As the live monitoring section in ActiveGuard allows you to turn on specific event types that are most important to you and your staff to be notified on. Essentially, you can think of all of the object recognition types that you're interested in seeing. Again, if it's people crossing lines, if it's people going in areas that they shouldn't be going in, or loitering, or vehicles parked in areas that they shouldn't be parked in. These are all things that will feed directly into ActiveGuard as they occur live. Anyone that you added to a watch list, any vehicle you added to a watch list, these will all come through as an active feed, along with the recorded evidence associated with that trigger. So as you can see, ActiveGuard is a truly impressive add-on that can provide a massive amount of functionality.